So what happens if you only brush your teeth once a day? And I mean only at night, skipping the morning brush completely. I actually tried this for a full 30 days because I really wanted to see if the advice to brush twice a day is legit. I wanted to know, is brushing just once at night a huge mistake? Or is it maybe okay? Well, let me tell you, the results I got in just 1 week were pretty shocking. Okay, let's really get into this. We're all told by the American Dental Association to brush twice a day, but why? I mean, really, is that second brush, that morning one, doing all that much? That's the big question we're going to unpack, and we're going to look at the science of what is actually happening inside your mouth when you decide to cut your brushing routine in half. You know, I've always loved this old saying because it just nails the two big reasons we brush, right? Brushing in the morning, that's all about social confidence, getting rid of that morning breath. But brushing before bed, that's a whole different ballgame. That's about your long-term health. And here's the key takeaway. When it comes to actually protecting your teeth, these two goals are absolutely not created equal. To really understand why that nighttime brush is so non-negotiable, we have to talk about what's going on while you're asleep. Your mouth basically becomes a battlefield, and at night, the bad guys have a serious home field advantage. The reason is your saliva production takes a nosedive while you sleep, and your saliva is your mouth's #1 natural defense system. And let's be really clear about what plaque is. We call it a sticky film, but it's so much more than just gunk. It's a biofilm. A better way to think about it is like a colony of bacteria building these slimy little fortresses all over your teeth. They create this protected little city where they can thrive, eat, and multiply like crazy, all while you're sound asleep. And this is how the damage happens. It's a chain reaction. If you skip brushing before bed, any little bits of food left over from your day become an all-you-can-eat buffet for these bacteria. As they feast, they produce acid. And that acid just sits there, bathing your teeth all night long, and it slowly but surely dissolves your enamel, that hard protective shell on your teeth. So let's talk about the direct consequences of this nightly acid bath. When your enamel starts to break down, it leads straight to two of the most common dental problems out there: cavities and gum disease. And we're not talking about a maybe here. These are the predictable, almost inevitable outcomes of letting plaque just run the show every night. And we've got the numbers to back this up. A huge systematic review in PubMed looked at 33 different studies, and the conclusion was crystal clear. People who didn't brush their teeth very often had 1.5 times the odds of getting cavities compared to people who brushed frequently. That is a very real, quantifiable risk. But it's not just your teeth that are at risk, it's your gums too. All that plaque buildup right along the gum line causes a ton of irritation and inflammation. This first stage is called gingivitis. You've probably experienced it. Your gums might look a little red, feel puffy, maybe they bleed when you brush. The good news? At this point, it's totally reversible with some good old-fashioned brushing and flossing. But, and this is a really big but, if you ignore those warning signs, that inflammation can get much worse and turn into periodontitis. This is where things get serious. The infection goes deeper and it actually starts destroying the bone that holds your teeth in place. And that damage, the bone loss, is permanent. It's gone for good. This is how people end up losing teeth, and it all starts with plaque you could have brushed away. Now, the consequences don't stop at your jawline, and this next part is especially for those of you out there who are really serious about your overall health, because the old saying is wrong. What happens in your mouth absolutely does not stay in your mouth. Just take a look at this. This data is from a big study in Japan, published in Anti-Cancer Research, and what they found is pretty startling. After accounting for other factors, people who brushed only once a day had a 25% higher odds of developing some type of cancer compared to those who brushed after every meal. And those who didn't even brush every day, a 52% higher odds. So what on earth is the connection? Well, the leading theory is something called chronic inflammation. All those bad bacteria and the inflammatory junk they produce from gum disease can actually leak into your bloodstream. From there, they can travel throughout your entire body, fueling low-grade systemic inflammation, which is a known risk factor for a whole bunch of diseases.
And the list just keeps going. Tons of research has now connected poor oral health to a whole host of other major health issues, like heart disease, Alzheimer's, and even pneumonia, especially in older folks. It really just hammers home the fact that your oral health is a critical pillar of your total body wellness.
Okay, so the verdict is definitely in. Brushing only once a day is a big mistake. So what does the ideal routine actually look like? let's break down the expert-approved game plan for keeping your mouth and your body as healthy as possible. First things first, let's settle that great morning debate. Should you brush before or after breakfast? Well, here's the deal. If you're on team brush after, the American Dental Association says you have to wait 60 minutes. Why? Because acidic foods like orange juice or coffee temporarily soften your enamel, and brushing right away can literally scrub it off. But if you brush before breakfast, you get rid of all that nasty overnight plaque, and you put a protective layer of fluoride on your teeth to defend against breakfast acids.
All right, here's a pro tip that might actually blow your mind because it goes against what most of us were taught. After you're done brushing, just spit out the extra toothpaste. Don't rinse with water. When you rinse, you wash away all that concentrated fluoride that's meant to protect your teeth. In fact, some studies suggest this one tiny change can reduce tooth decay by up to 25%.
So, to put it all together, the optimal routine recommended by the American Dental Association is actually super simple. It really just comes down to 4 key steps. 1. Brush twice a day. 2. Use a fluoride toothpaste. 3. Make sure you're brushing for a full 2 minutes. And 4. Don't forget to clean between your teeth every single day.
This whole experiment taught me one thing for sure. Skipping your morning brush creates a big problem for your oral microbiome. That's the whole ecosystem of good and bad bacteria living in your mouth. By not brushing in the morning, I was basically letting the bad bacteria throw a massive party. And by lunchtime, they were completely taking over.
That's why I've gone back to brushing twice a day. No question. But I've also added something new to my routine: probiotic support from Prodentim. The whole idea is to help feed the good bacteria, giving them the backup they need to keep things in balance all day long.
So, if you're someone who is serious about your health and you're looking to give your mouth that extra level of support from the inside, the team at Prodentim has a great offer. They're so confident you'll feel the difference, it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. You can find the link for it right down in the description. And of course, just to be super clear, this isn't a replacement for brushing. It's about giving your body the good support it needs on the inside.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about tonight. Are you really giving your teeth the 2 minutes of attention they need twice a day? It only takes a few minutes, but as we've seen today, the benefits for your teeth and your whole body can last a lifetime. Thanks for watching.